Hello, welcome to this sixth tutorial about how to use Core, um, the Core platform. So in the previous tutorial, we talked about managing records, and the one before that, managing projects. And as I mentioned, this tutorial will be about environments, what they mean in the Core standpoint of view, and how to manage environments. So let's log in again. Tutorial. Okay. So in the last tutorial, we created two projects and added three records, actually four, and deleted one. So now let's go into the records here of online project one and click on. So let me first describe in which section you will see an environment. So environments are visible from the project views here, the statistics on the bottom. The right one, the most right one, is for the environments, and if I click on it, there is none for this project, so nothing will be shown, and there is no way to create it from here, so you have to create it when uploading a record. So if I go to the records here, when modifying a record, at least from the online part, so I have this section here about environments again. On the right side, there is no floating button for environments. Didn't make sense to have one. So, but if it has to happen in one of the future version of Core, it would be here too. So let's now click on that and show what an environment is. So you would see an environment as if I take the two different groups of use cases: computational environments and experimental environments. A computational environment would be the operating system, the virtual machine image on which you're running the simulation. So basically, an environment on which you would be able to run all the simulation with different dependencies, different code, that would give you the result that you had. So basically, it's the layer on which the computation depends to run properly, meaning what is the architecture on which you run it. So it's also another kind of information. So what is the operating system, because it would come with some compilers, some schedulers that would make your code only run for this kind of specific operating system. So this is where things get to be interesting, because reconstructing this environment is very painful and hard. So providing it would be, firstly, would depend on the user itself, but also on the tool side of providing records. It would depend on how the tool, the application used to record, to capture information about the execution, provide this environment. So this is why when you create an environment, it's recommended to add an application name. So an application, I will describe what an application is later on in the next tutorial. So basically, an application is an automated tool that allows one to push records, except from the web part. The web part doesn't use any automated tool. So I would give more details about what they are, what are the specifics. So in this section, you would have then to provide what an application, the application that you picked. You don't have to, but since each application has the way of packing things and would not pack it always the same way, it's better to provide it so that later on, for the sake of transparency, it's easier to bind an environment to an application. So now in different groups of environment you can provide, we have, of course, the computational kind of environment, the experimental one, which is more complicated. It's basically the machine information, but not only that, the calibration configuration, the set of parameters that are important to make the machine be at a certain state of reliability and certainty. So that's what I call environment. So that what's make you as another person trying to replicate an experiment. That's what's make you lack of when you run it, when you run the same procedure on the same on another machine on your side, and you don't have the same results with the same inputs and everything. So something in between went missing. So those are the calibration, the setup at which the machine has to be before you run the experiment. So that's what it means as an environment for an experiment. And also we have, of course, hybrid environments that mix the two of them. So it's doing a little bit of experimental and then computation for analysis, or a little bit of computational and then optimization on the machine. So it's there's a flavor of two too. So and then after that, there are the different ways of providing what is the actual meaning of this environment. So you can see it as a container. Nowadays we are talking about containers all around because they're great, they're lighter than virtual machines, they uh, allow microservices way of running things, so it's awesome. We have virtual machines too, then we have tools, we have cloud-based environments that are already pushed. You don't have to push. You don't have to push the environment again. You can just provide a link or something later for that. And for the experimental side, of course, you have a device-based environment, a lab-based environment, and a little bit of customized one if you have an hybrid of experimental and computational. We'll leave this to container right now. So, and we will not pick any application for that matter. So we just confirm to create that. Later on, we'll talk about applications and then come back a little bit about environments again. So confirm the creation. So now nothing happens here. So an environment was submitted to this record. So this record now is pretty much attached to an environment. So if I go back now to the project view, then I can see that down here there is one environment now. If I click there, I will see one environment. And basically what it does is that it's saying that the application is unknown. You can't show it. It's unknown. Well, you show it, but it's unknown. And it's computational. It's container based. This basically shows a little bit of statistics about this is about the environment bundle, meaning the actual file of the environment. This is those are all the resources that the environment all the environment resources. So if we upload some stuff into the environment, you will be able to have them here, to see them here. This is a download button that is not activated yet for the menu part. This is the details views button that is not activated yet too. And below here, the last one is the comments. This is the next feature that is gonna come in the future for commenting and interacting around environments if need be. So you'll be able to leave comments on your experience about or issues about this environment and allow the scientists to fix them. So there is also an upload button that is going to come along, so for fixing easily, and this one is for downloading. I think I mentioned that. So basically this is how you create an environment, and an environment should be seen as, even if it's pushed through the record creation, it's linked directly to the project. But so the project always migrate from one environment on the head to another one, and multiple records can be attached to one environment at the same time. So environment are nested behind records are nested behind record environments, and environment the history of evolution of a project. So you would run it in this environment many times to have many records, and then something would happen. You want to change something in the environment, you have to remove this compiler, do this one, or change or upgrade operating system. Then you change the environment, and then this way you allow yourself to granularly track what changed in the process of executing your simulation or your machine's executions. So we can delete this environment also. So if we go back to the projects, there will be no environment. So I'm gonna delete it because in the next tutorial we're gonna talk about applications, what they mean, and another part of the scheme in CoRR, why CoRR is that important for the community, and what we think where we think we're placing ourselves to contribute in this question and open question of making research more reproducible, more sustainable, more keeping more quality into research publications through the actual execution of the code that was produced the result that were published. So thank you again for watching, and I'll see you in the next tutorial about actual applications.